Hello all, welcome back again. Wednesday, time to talk about something wildlife related. In case you missed the other videos, my name is Chris. I'm the head ranger at Antrim Caste Gardens, and we've decided to do a little bit on wildlife every Wednesday. Just while you can't come and visit us, while Antrim Caste Gardens is closed, just to try and keep you interested in the outdoors. Now, I think today I'm going to speak just a few minutes about badgers. I'm sure you all know what a badger looks like. Unfortunately, we'll more often than not see badgers as roadkill on the roads, and that's very sad. They have got somewhat of a bad reputation, wrongly, recently in the UK and Ireland, but they're very special sort of animals. They're about a meter long, and you'll often find them active at night time. Now, the reason why I thought I'd tell you a wee bit about badgers today is that my colleague Angus, a lot of you will know Angus, one of the other rangers at Antrim Caste Gardens, has discovered. Now, he lives out in the country, and he's discovered quite a large badger set on his land. Now, we haven't got a look at the badgers yet, or he hasn't got a look at the badgers yet, but he is trying, and he's going to try and get some footage of badgers either going into or coming out of the set. Problem is, we don't know if it's just a little set that they can use, or that they will use, or if it's a big primary set, because a big set will often house 4 to 10 sort of badgers. They live together underground, but a set can be 50 or 100 meters long underground, believe it or not, so they can be massive. But he is trying at this entrance that he's found to get some footage and some pictures. We'll post up after this video as well. We'll post up a few of the photos of the set that he's found. It's very smooth and dusty around the front of it, indicating a lot of movement in and out of the set, so it is definitely an active entrance. So just a matter of time before we get some footage of some badgers for you. But I thought I'd speak for a few minutes just about badgers, because this time of the year is great for finding badgers. Now, they can have anything from 2 or 3 up to 6 or 7 or 8 youngsters. Normally, though, they only have 3 or 4. The youngsters are called cubs, and so 3 or 4 cubs. Now, this happens towards the middle of February, maybe towards the end of February, and the youngsters normally come out of the set for the first time at about 11 or 12 weeks of age, which takes us to the middle of March. The middle of May, which it is now. So now's the right time of the year to be looking for badger pups in and around the sets. So we'll persevere, and we'll see if we can get some footage of the badgers. But I thought I'd tell you a wee bit about badgers. They're our biggest predatory animal, and they're classed in the UK and Ireland, and they're classed as what we call opportunistic omnivores. Now, omnivores mean they can eat plants or fruit and meat as well, so they will eat raspberries and blackberries, for example, fruits that have fallen, normally soft, very ripe fruits. Their favorite thing to eat is slugs and earthworms. Earthworms probably their favorite, and earthworms make up the bulk of their diet, maybe even 50% of what they eat. So that would probably equate to 100 or 200 earthworms in a night for a single badger. So they've got a very, very varied diet. They'll eat pretty much whatever's going, and when they really have to, they don't do it often, but when they really have to, they can unfortunately take live prey, and occasionally they've been known to take hedgehogs as well. They've been blamed for the decrease in numbers of hedgehog throughout the UK and Ireland, but it's not them. They have a very, very small part to play. The main reason for the decrease in hedgehog numbers is the loss of habitat, which is our fault. So yeah, a very exciting time to look for badger activity, and Angus is out at the moment on his land trying to work on finding some badger feces and tracks and signs, or anything we can find on the badger activity around the set that he's found. But they'll live together in what we call a clan. And what separates them, or what makes them different from any other animals that live socially, is that they don't work cooperatively. They don't work together. They'll live together underground in the set as a clan. Clan can be anything from 4 or 5 badgers up to 10. But they'll head out at night, every night, completely alone. They'll all go their own separate ways, and they'll forage for food by themselves, which sets them apart from most other animals that live socially, because most other social animals will actually go and forage or hunt cooperatively together and reap the benefits of finding food as a group. Badgers don't do that. So because they spend all their activity, all the hours of their activity through the night alone, they need to communicate somehow with one another. And the way they do that is through smell. Badgers have a very, very acute sense of smell, very good sense of smell, and they will leave scent trails or scent markings on obstacles behind them to communicate with others as to home ranges and territorial boundaries, reproductive or mating information, for example. That all needs to be communicated through smell. Now, most animals have what we call a vomeronasal organ. It's an organ at the back of the palate, or at the back of the nose, at the back of the palate, and it's the link between what an animal smells and what an animal thinks. It's the tool they use to process and analyze information gained through olfactory stimuli or through smell. And this is particularly acute with species like badgers, who spend the vast majority of their time active alone. You'll see even horses and dogs and cats, as they all curl their top lip up, and it looks like they're smiling. They go like this and they lift their nose into the wind, and that's called the Flamen grimace. And that's the motion that they'll do when they're activating this Jacobson's organ or this vomeronasal organ and processing information, picking up scent and analyzing that information. Right. So you'll see badger scent marking if you're ever lucky enough to see one, and if you can follow it for a wee while, you'll see them scent marking by doing what we call squat marking. And they'll walk and they'll kind of squat as if they're sitting down almost, lift the tail and squat, and that's them leaving a little scent marking behind with a scent organ. Or scent gland. All right. They can also do what we call allo marking, and that's when they leave the scent on each other. When they're in the set, when they're underground. Okay, but a lot of information happens through smell with all species. Badgers, particularly acute sense of smell. All right, so we know now how they live in big sets, normally in groups of between 4 and 10 underground. Now, they can be little sets with only 1 or 2 entrances. They can be massive big sets of 50 or 100 meters long. And those massive sets can actually be 100 or more years old, and they use generation after generation after generation. And like we do when we stay in a house, we like to modify it. That's what badgers do as well. So it's a series of tunnels, almost like a honeycomb. And off from these tunnels, like our hallway, off from these tunnels are little chambers. And it's in these chambers where the individual sows or females will have their pups. All right. So yeah, as I say, we're going to try and post up some footage of some badgers so you can see, or at least photos or footage or video, so you can see some activity. I don't know if we're going to get any activity, but fingers crossed. All right. So hopefully you know a little more about badgers now. And if any of you are interested in badgers, come past Antrim Caste Gardens once we open up after lockdown and ask for a ranger, either myself or Angus, and we'll tell you a little more and show you some photos and videos and footage and things we have of or that we've been able to get from badgers. But have a look at the photos attached to this wee video, and you'll see what the entrance of a set looks like. All right. Now I hope you all stay safe and remember to keep social distancing 2 meters apart and wash your hands regularly. And I'll be in touch again maybe next week to see if we've had any footage of the badgers from Angus. All right then, stay safe. Bye.